You know, Dan would have loved this because with the technology involved, he would have just thrown his hands up ages ago.
He'd have been gone 15 minutes ago, yeah.
Somebody would have died and he would have had to leave all of a sudden real quick.
Here they all come. 12, 13, nice. We got Brenda Mudrack. We got Carol C. We got Carol Starkey. We got Connie. We got, I still don't know who Daniel Boone Watch Party is. Somebody won't give us their name. Ed Thompson.
Let me know when Linda Crowley, if she comes on.
All right. John and Christy Kistler, Karen Silverstein, Carla Craybaum, Kenny, Pamela Riley Pavkovich, Robin Gronemus, Stacy Schaefer, Susan Harlan, Susie Kaufman.
And all these people Don owes money to.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you have to pay me first.
There's a manager speaking.
Hey, there's Christine Disselhorst. She made it tonight. She tried to sign in last night. She was cursing me out because she couldn't get in last night.
Oh,
It was Wednesday, just like you, Darby, that tried to tape the Thursday night football game. Did you record it?
I didn't do that. Oh my goodness. Excuse me, guys. I got to tape the football game here.
Oh yeah, well, this is costing you money, though.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're sending you a bill.
God, do I got to get you guys another steak dinner or something? What's the cost of this one?
We'll settle up in Tucson.
It depends on what stories you tell or what stories I don't tell. How's that?
In Tucson?
Anywhere.
Keep it clean.
Are you going to Tucson? Are we going anywhere soon? I hope.
Is that for the High Chaparral thing next summer?
That's the High Chaparral. Terry, I think, is coming up here. We're going to drive down, right, Terry?
Yeah, that's what the plan is.
All right.
Was I invited to that?
I think so.
You know. I mean, I don't hear about these things. What can I say?
You can be Don's sidekick. Don, just tell Susan McCrae that you won't do it unless Darby does it.
Oh, Susan likes me. I think she'll let me do it.
Oh no, I thought I saw your picture already on some kind of ad. I think you're in.
Oh, well. That's good.
You know you're always the last to know, Darby.
Thank you. Do you know when I was a kid, still doing the show, I think it was one of the last years of the show or something, somebody said they could get me to do at the end of the year, the Boy Scouts have the big, everybody gets together and all the different troops and all that, right? And they said they could get me and announce that I was going to be there and everything. And I didn't know anything about it. Nobody ever and that was my mom too. It wasn't just me back then, but we didn't know anything about it. And then everybody was mad as hell because we didn't show up. Anyway.
Did they send you money?
Look at you. Look at you. That's all you care about, isn't it? I was just doing it for the smiles of the young Boy Scouts.
Yeah, that's what Dan did all the time. He was always for the smiles of the kids.
You know what? Listen, all kidding aside, and the reason we're here, usually this would be a Boone viewing party, but it's because this fell on Dan's actual birthday. So I had to do this tribute because, like you say, put a smile on the face. We did a lot of these shows together, and I love it. And I almost dressing for this came in a T-shirt because I never saw that guy. I don't care how formal the event was. I never saw him in anything but a T-shirt. So I put a T-shirt on underneath. But we would get together.
He didn't know anything but T-shirt, did he?
I don't think so. That's why I had a small bag. But we would get together before we would go down and we say, all right, let's see how many people we can make laugh today. Let's see how many people won't forget today just because, they met us and we had fun with people. It was, and he just did that. He lit up a room. He was one of those people.
You're right. He always just wore a T-shirt. And in fact, the T-shirt that he's wearing in the picture behind me, after he died, his kids gave me that T-shirt and a couple more because that's all he ever wore.
Did he ever wash it? He never washed it, did he?
No.
Thank you, Don. Well, speaking of things that were given, I so appreciate that you gave me this because you said that Dan would have wanted me to have it. And that's a tooth from good old Bozo.
Ben, yeah.
Ben
Bozo.
the bear from the show. And I wear this when I go and do shows now because, you know, they're still fun and I enjoy doing them, but they're not quite as much fun as when that young man, my big brother was with me. But I wear this just remember to have a good time, make people laugh.
I was hoping you'd wear that.
Yeah, cool. Well, you got some of his shinier bling on you.
Yeah, Ben's Dan took one of Ben's claws and had it encased in silver down one side and on the top. And I didn't give that one to you. I kept that one.
God.
That's okay. I like the rougher one. This is more for me, that crazy guy.
Yeah, that's a rugged one.
I like that picture right there of you guys and Dan back there. You remember that story he told about that with an eagle or something nesting on his head?
You mean when he had sex with the condor?
The eagle on his head.
He got paid for letting that bird make a nest or something on his head.
He went.
Yeah, that was when National Geographic had him go in, and the eagle. They wanted him to try to get the eagle to mate, and so they strapped the
male eagle.
And they had Dan walk into the cage and strut around and try to be a female and try to attract the male eagle. And
he had on his head, right?
Yeah.
He had the bowl with the
head and did his business into the donut on his head.
One of the most disgusting stories I ever heard.
Tell him, he said, if you ever see an eagle with a beard, tell him his mom said hello.
I'm telling you, he didn't know. And they said, oh, you know, you want to go in and help with the conservation program. And, you know, we're breeding eagles here. You want to help? Sure. Strap this on. Next thing you know, he's got an eagle on his head.
I don't know. Did he get paid for that?
Oh, Don.
He never did anything free.
Well, if he got paid, well, this bracelet that I'm wearing now, he gave it to me, and it was broke, and that's why he gave it to me, because it's broke. And he said he did it because it reminded him of our business dealings together, because we were always broke. And so when he died, I had it fixed and put on, and now I wear it, and it looks like his a little bit. But I think of him every time I look at this with a bear paw. I had to have it fixed. He didn't pay for that. I had to pay for that.
Wow.
Listen, we could do all the stories, but I know we're going to show the pilot too. Oh, and I want to say, you know, I called Robert Fuller because, you know, he was a little upset with me when we did the whole memorial, if you remember out here, and we put it together that it was hard enough getting you two guys to figure out Zoom. Yeah. Robert was like, I love Dan. I've known him, you know, for 60 years. There's nobody like him. As soon as I mentioned computers, he was like, no, don't. I said, well, on the phone. No. I said, well, you want it? No. He said, but he wanted to make sure. He said, he thinks about him every day. There was nobody like him or anything else.
You mean that Fuller wouldn't come on the computer?
Fuller doesn't have a computer. He swears he doesn't have. He says his phone is a flip phone. I thought Dan had the last flip phone on Earth. Oh. But he said, yeah, he can't even do a video recording just to say hey.
Dan said his flip phone sent smoke signals.
And you used a crank to get it going there.
And he talked about Bob Fuller. He said Bob Fuller was the only one to get out and drink him. But I'm sure Don could hold a candle.
I could keep up with Fuller.
I saw you the other day, Don, on Little House on the Prairie. You were a sheriff and you were willing to kill a orangutan.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know who was a better actor, you or the orangutan.
The orangutan was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. He set the bar about that high.
Yeah.
I just want to know, are you really insinuating that Dan was a drinker?
No, I'm not insinuating that. I'm absolutely stating fact.
Who the hell wasn't a drinker, for Christ's sake?
Don, why don't you tell the story of how'd you first meet Dan? Do you remember the first time you met him?
Oh yeah, I do remember the first time I met him was in Palm Springs, but I don't know, 15, 17 years ago, a long time ago. But we really didn't get acquainted until about 6 years ago. And then he was with his brother in Palm Springs. What was his brother's name, Terry?
Oh, you're talking about Bill.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really his brother, but he called him.
He said he was his brother for 2 years to me, but then we found out he was lying. He wasn't his brother. He's just.
You mean Dan lied?
Yeah.
There you go again. You're impeding his character. You're saying Dan lied? He maybe stretched the truth?
Dan would climb a tree and tell a lie rather than stand on the ground and tell the truth.
And that's coming from the pastor.
Well, when I met Dan, the first time I met Dan, I was looking for a spokesperson for our organization. And when my spokesperson that I had died, who was the guy on the Virginian, I'm trying to remember his name now, Doug McClure died. And so a guy called me up and he said, why don't you try Dan Haggerty? And I said, I never watched the show. And he said, well, give him a try. He's right down the street. So he drove up and we got to talking. And in 5 minutes, we were at the Sportsman's Lodge and we got to talking for 5 minutes and became friends right like that. And he said, I said, well, let me take you to dinner, Dan. He said, fine, we'll go right across the street. I thought we were going over to a burger joint or whatever. He takes me into a restaurant and then he ordered the dinner for everybody and did everything. I said, well, just give me the bill. And the bill was $750.
This was how many years ago?
That was 25 years ago.
Have you paid it yet? I bet you haven't paid it yet.
I had to pay that bill. And then about 10 years, or about just 2 years before he died, I was out in LA and I said, I want you to take me to dinner this time. And I'm going back. He said, I'll take you to dinner. And I said, well, let's go back to the same place. He said, I'll take you today. And he drives over there. And the only thing that was open was the bar. And he knew it. And he said, you can't. I said, I can't drink $500-700 worth of money. That guy ripped me off. I'll never forget it.
But you still became friends. Now this is the first time I met Dan in person. Can you see it on the screen? Did I do this right? That was the first time I met him when all these great cowboys and legends and everything got together. There's, Dan down there about 3 rows. I'm sitting in the back next to Lee Van
There's Dan right there.
All these just legends. What a day that was. But I remember it was the first time I ever saw Dan in person. We pulled in for this and he's in his big monster truck that's growling like a bear. And he gets out and I'm behind him. Now this is in the 70s when we had the gasoline shortage and you could only get gas if your license plate was odd or even and you had to wait in line for hours and it was a big pain in the butt. So we pull in, I'm right behind him. He jumps out and climbs down the thing, comes over and a PA comes running out, production assistant that's supposed to maybe show us where we go into makeup or where our dressing rooms are. And Dan looks at him, come here, kid, here, take this, go fill her up. Well, yeah, she needs some gas. And the kid's like, oh, okay. What'd she take? Only the best. And he walked off. That was my first impression of him. But we didn't become friends for decades later. But he was always bigger than life, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The first time he came to my house in Palm Beach in Florida, I flew him over and I was putting new tile down in my house. And I came in and I said, Dan, I hate to do this to you, but just be real careful. Don't walk in the kitchen because the tile just got set today and it'll break the tile if you walk on it. He said, no problem, Terry, no problem. And so he set him in his bedroom, gave him everything, took him out to eat, did all the kind of stuff. 2 o'clock in the morning, I hear something. And I get up and I'm wandering through my house, and I walk out of my bedroom, through the living room, into the kitchen, and what do I see? I see Dan reaching into the refrigerator, walking on all the tile. He's cooking a T-bone steak, snapping all the tile in the whole kitchen. He's just walking around. That's how we first met. That was my first real experience. I said, thanks, Dan. That was great. That was really great. He said, I need some character.
Wow. And he always ate at midnight. You're right. He always had that midnight.
Oh yeah. When you go to dinner with him, he always ordered 2 meals, one to eat and then one to take home.
All right. Well, listen, we're gonna show this. Otherwise, we'll just talk here forever. Now, somehow it's become a thing that whatever I'm drinking for these, like, you know, when we did Houseboat, I had a root beer float because it was my childhood, you know, great movie when we got to do that, to, you know, some good whiskey with Bobby Haggerty. Now, Dan, hold on. See if this is how I remember.
There we are.
That's good.
Wow.
This is how that little glint in the eye, like, come on, this will be fun.
Oh man, that's a great shot.
That's it right there.
You know, so tonight, in his honor, I have some moonshine here. Am I back on?
Yep.
That was last drunk with him. Used to be a full bottle. It's kept in the freezer. And the last time he was over here, I think it was a football game or something we were watching. So tonight it's going to be a little moonshine as we watch the pilot here.
Happy birthday, Dan. Cheers.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday, pal. Drink up. I wished I had some of that.
Here's what I'm drinking: Orange Blossom Brewing Company beer.
It's too late.
With a honey beer in honor of Grizzly Adams.
Honey, there you go. See, that's because at the end tonight, we all have to have it. Somebody has to, even if it's, you know, water, although they say water's bad luck, but
Every
something we got to toast him tonight. His happy birthday.
Well, let me get something.
Well,
you'll have 15 minutes when we go to the show, so you'll have 14 minutes and 12 seconds to run.
And you know what, Don?
Run to it.
If you don't understand the show when you come back, you know, because you can't quite get the plot, we'll fill you in. So don't worry if you miss.
I'm not worried. I'm having fun just listening.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to our viewing party tonight, where tonight we're going to be watching an episode, the pilot episode of Grizzly Adams, called Adam's Cub. Unfortunately, this is not a very good quality version of this episode, so just bear with me. I did the best I could with it. It's about 14 minutes long. Remember, if you have questions, post them in the Q&A. I don't look at the chat, so if you have questions for any of our guests, you need to post that in the Q&A. I think that's it. As you know, you've met Don Collier and Terry Bomar and Darby Hinton. So we will be back in 14 minutes. Don and Terry, since this is new, if you just make sure to mute your camera and your microphone when we go to the show, so your face isn't like watching, everybody can see you watching the show.
Yeah, you might pick your nose or, you know, something like that.
What do I do now?
And then in 14 minutes, when you see me pop back on, then just unmute your camera and your mic.
Do I have to touch anything?
Yeah, you'll just need to click on the microphone and click on the camera and it'll go off.
You know those icons lower left?
Sue, are you coming back? Here she is.
See, Don's got an assistant. He must be a bigger actor than you, Darby.
He is. He is. Come on, Don Collier.
I've got a few Emmys in my closet.
He's a famous.
If you're talking cowboy, there's no bigger cowboy than Don Collier.
Oh God.
I mean, when that guy wrote in.
Oh, she brought him a drink. Nice.
Don Collier is such a big
moonshine.
Kentucky
nice.
moonshine.
Kentucky moonshine.
Oh, there we
have
go.
to toast. Terry, you're the odd man out. You could have your glass of water. We'll do it again. All right. Cheers.
Well, he's a pastor.
Cheers.
Watch. Something will appear by the next break. I have a feeling.
That's right. That's right.
All right. So let's go ahead and get started with Adam's Cub.
They call me Mad Jack. And if there's anybody in these mountains that knows the real story of James Adams, that'd be me. So I'm putting it down in writing just the way it happened in hopes of setting the record straight. Now, my friend Adams was accused of a crime he didn't commit. So he escaped into the mountains, leaving behind the only life that he ever knew. wilderness out there ain't no place for a greenhorn, and his chances of surviving were mighty slim. Weren't no time at all before he was beaten down, ragged, and nearly starved. Long about then, he come upon a grizzly bear cub, all alone and helpless. Adams knew that little critter couldn't survive without his help, so he started right down that cliff, risking his own life to save it. Now that cub took to Adams right off, and that was when he discovered he had a special kind of way with animals. They just come right up to him like he was a natural part of the wilderness. But that bear cub, he was extra special. As he growed, he became the best friend Adams ever had, and together they became a legend.
There's a world where we don't have to run, baby. There's a time we'll call our own, living free in harmony and majesty. Take me home, take me home, take me home, take me home.
The wagon trains was a-coming more and more, bound for California and them gold nuggets. Long as they kept on going, it was all right with Adams and me.
There, honey. It's going to be all right. There's nothing we can do for him now. We all loved him, sweetheart. Maybe not as much as you did. But he was a very old dog, and it was bound to happen someday. Lie down and try to sleep. You'll feel better for it. We've got to get her another puppy.
We will somehow. Right now we got to catch up with the others. Seems like this trip has been one misery on top of another.
We're doing the right thing, Jed.
Right thing. Scared by everything we see. Let's go.
That way looks easier.
Well, the other looks like it's had more traffic on it. Hard to say which way the train went.
These wheel ruts could have been left long ago. It might be a different wagon train altogether. Well, maybe if we followed the one more traveled, just for a ways, and if the trail doesn't hold, we can come back and take the other fork. Go one around the other.
Hello, puppy. Where did you come from? Don't go away. I won't hurt you. I just want to pet you. Here, puppy. Here, baby. Come here, little puppy. You don't have to be afraid of me. I won't hurt you. Don't be afraid.
Well, Mary, I think we'll go this way. Get up there! Get up! Ha, Patty, ha!
Not a sound out of it.
Come here. Here, puppy. Told you I wouldn't hurt you. You like that? I was just petting him. Ma! Pa! Pa! Ma, Pa, please find me.
We'll camp now and try catching up tomorrow. You best wake Eliza. I'll fetch wood.
Eliza, time to wake up.
Eliza? Where are you? Len, is he there?
No, she's not here.
Eliza! Where are you?
Easy, Mary. Maybe she's just off in the bushes. Eliza!
She's gone. She must have fallen off that wagon. Lord.
Easy. Oh, we'll backtrack and see if she's anywhere near. She can't be far off. Like as not, she's trying to catch up with us right now. Here, honey.
Hello, Rabbit. Come here. Come on. Are you lost too? You have soft fur. I once had a rabbit like you. No, get away! Get away! Wait, get away from me! No! Leave me alone! Pa! Leave me alone! Don't take me! Want to be friends? Huh? Would you like to be friends with me? All right, we're friends.
Don't you worry, don't you cry.
Wait for me, we're friends.
By and by, everything will turn out right, and all your fears will fade from sight.
Hello there.
Don't you know you've got a friend? A helping hand has to lend.
Don't leave me like that, you hear?
A friend who'll always
Wait for me,
see you
please.
through in everything you try to do. Friends, we all need friends. Friends who make the world look right again. Friends, we all need friends. Friends, the world look right again.
Mom? Pa? Where are you? Papa! Where are you? Can't you hear me?
Don, come back. I got things to say.
I may have,
They're not important, Don, but come back anyway.
Well, we'd miss you, Don. We really would.
Yeah,
Remember,
Don, you're the star.
it's that little line with the over the microphone and the
I may have muted him.
technology. Come on. All right. Well,
Lost one.
oh, don't say.
Shot. Where was the shot? Because it looks, yours, it looks like you can tell when it's on the set versus when it's outside, but this looked like it all was shot outside.
This was all shot outside.
Where? In the California
Park
mountains?
City,
I
Utah.
need to sit there.
Okay.
Where? Where'd you say,
Park
Terry?
City.
Utah?
Park City,
Sorry,
Utah.
Papa.
Really?
Yes, really.
Yeah, it was there and a couple other places, but most of it was near Park City.
Now, I thought Dan was doing this in drag or something. It's the girl and the bear. Here, Dan, you were so brave working with that big bear and everything. Yeah, throw the girl out there first. If the bear doesn't eat the little girl, yeah, I'll go in there and work with him. Her.
Well, He figured it'd be easier to get away from the bear if he put the girl out there first.
Right. If the bear.
Well, that's how he
Would
survived.
that be on her end?
All right, Darby, why'd you cut in the middle of it? Did you have something important to say? Somebody said Darby is such a shot disturber, LOL. Tammy says, or Tammy.
Yes, I wanted to know if I guess I've never seen the pilot. Well, Terry, you admitted that you didn't see the show when you met him the first time. Have you seen the pilot before?
I've seen it since I met him, but before I met him, I never watched the pilot.
You have seen the pilot. I mean, I watched the series. I mean, I caught it, but I caught it later in life, and I know it didn't have that long of a life, but I caught it later where he was with the bear, and all I've seen so far is this little girl with the bear.
I know it. This does not look like the pilot that I've seen. It looks different.
I thought Ginger was playing a joke on me. Like this is supposed to be Dan and the bear, and instead
Well, she's no. That's who's coming up. Give it. Well, Denver piloted the whole introduction at the beginning. So.
Oh yeah, okay.
But you're probably right. This is probably not the original pilot that they probably pitched. They probably piecemealed some things for TV. I bet. I don't know. This is what came up when I punched in season 1, episode 1. And what's ironic is I remember watching the show as a kid, but I don't remember the show. And I think it's amazing that this show was only on for 2 seasons, but Dan Haggerty is remembered for this show. And it really wasn't on that long, but everybody knows, Grizzly Adams. Like people probably don't even know there's a real Grizzly Adams that he was patterned after.
And when you say everybody knows Grizzly Adams, I mean, when you traveled with him, it was what would you call it, Terry? I mean,
it was a full-on 3-ring circus when you traveled.
Oh my, I mean, the whole airplane, we would get, first of all, he'd get on the airplane first because he's Dan Haggerty. I remember the first time I met him at the airport, we were supposed to go someplace together. And we pull up, and there's this long line at LAX to get through the security and TSA and everything. And I start walking towards the long line, and he looks at me, and I'm like, and he's, Darby, come here. And what did I do?
Lost you. You just hit something.
Oh, there we go. And we walked up to the front of the line, got on the plane first. Talked to all the stewardesses, got them all riled up and stuff, and had fun, and stewards.
When I would travel with him, we'd go up to the desk, and he would always have pictures with him.
Always. No, wait. The pictures were his get out of jail card.
Yeah, those were the golden ticket.
That was it. The golden ticket. I mean, when he pushed the line, and we might be in trouble here. Hey, you want a picture of me and Ben?
Oh, these are ones for him to autograph for people? That was what he would do? That was his.
He would have me book him in coach. And then we would go up to the desk, and he would sign the autographs until he bumped us up to first class. And that's how we rode a lot of times together. We actually in Detroit, we were escorted out of the city. We were caught in this big traffic jam, and a police officer was sitting up there. We pulled him in the car next to the police officer, the motorcycle, and he said, "Can you get us out of here?" And the police officer looked at him, and he said, "Are you Grizzly Adams?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I'll get you out of here." And he turned on the slide on the motorcycle, and he said, "Hit it." And he was driving as fast as my foot was on the floor, driving as fast as he could, got us all the way out of town. And then he pulled over to the median in the middle of 2 expressways, got out of the car, and we were signing autographs and T-shirts for the police officer on the highway with cars going in every direction. And that's how we got around. That was a typical Dan Haggerty event.
Oh.
Well, I guess it helps that he never changed his look. I mean, that was his look. That was the thing. He always looked exactly the same. Whereas you were a little boy when you did Daniel Boone, and then when you got older, people didn't recognize you. You lost your blonde hair. I still haven't said whether that was dyed or not.
And that was the thing when we traveled too, is that if they didn't happen to be a fan of Grizzly Adams, he made sure they knew that I was that little Israel kid running around. So yeah, it was always an adventure, but we always got treated really well. Really well.
Okay, here's a question for you, Darby. Robin Gronimus
says, Don, we can hear you. We can hear you.
I lost the video, but I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can. We can hear you, Don, but we can't see you.
Well, maybe that's the best way to do this.
Well, there's a little video.
I remember that wonderful
camera button. You push it.
That wonderful evening in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You remember that night? After that gun show.
What night are we talking about?
Well, that night we ran into that friend of yours you were in school with ran into us, and they invited us to dinner at the country club.
Yes.
Of course.
And y'all kissed the head of the ball.
Let us go. And we went to the country club and tore the place apart. We had a great time over there. We went to that table with all those big shots. Dan was kissing the bald-headed guy on top of the head and drinking his booze. And, of course, we were all drinking the booze around that table. But we had a wonderful time that night.
We did, just to set the scene. This is a friend I went on my college ship with around the world. I knew he was in Tulsa. We were all there doing a show together. And he said, come on, we'll go out to this country club, exclusive, country club. Everybody's supposed to be, very. Oh, wait a minute. Look. Oh, well, he has a t-shirt under a shirt. He actually, and that's, anyway. Oh, and we get there and there's a wedding, but there's a big round table that obviously there are important people at, because everybody's kind of, kowtowing around him and stuff. And they kind of try to put us in a corner, but unfortunately they walked us by these people. And Dan just had to wake them up and what's going on and everything. Like they said, they ended up kissing the bald guy's head up. It turns out it was the mayor. The guy with the bald head, I think, was donating $30 million to help develop the riverfront area.
Yes, he was, yeah.
Right. And it was all these important, and oh my God. And then we went into the wedding afterwards. Remember on the way out?
You were kissing the bride.
And the whole time he was doing it, he was poking me in the side saying, get his business card, get his business card. He's gonna pay for our movie. He's gonna pay for our movie. He stayed on that for a month. Just
wonderful.
If he can work with the city, if he can redo the development and the river walk, he can pay for our little movie.
He tried. Yeah, I thought we were getting that movie going there, and I thought we had a good actor in mind to take his part.
Well, yeah, we did. He looks a little bit like old Chris.
Yeah, okay, I'll let it grow a little longer.
Yeah, tonight he's wearing a hat. We're still going to get you in that.
Well, it's usually I have the coonskin cap like Ginger wore. Thank you very much. But for my buddy Dan, I had to go a little more cowboy. We usually cowboyed up together.
But if you're going to do that and use me, you better damn sure hurry.
Well, it'd be nice to see you, buddy.
We're going to see each other in Tucson in March. Terry's coming up here. We're going down together, I think.
Yeah. Well, and I'm very glad to hear that I'm going to be there. That would be good. And Robert Fuller let me know that I'm going to be at the it used to be called the Memphis Film Festival, the East Nostalgia. Anyway, yeah. So I can't wait for these things to be able to happen again safely.
Yeah. They were great shows, all those shows.
I know. I miss them all. I miss the hugs. I miss the people. I miss the fun and the laughter.
Sounds like a song, Darby.
All right. Should we do
it? Wait.
I
got a couple questions. Hold on. Robin Gronimus wants to know, is that picture behind Darby from Kanab? I have one with him where he looks just like that. Is that from Kanab? Where is that taken? Darby?
Oh, the one now or the one I had on before?
The one right now.
No, that's at the NRA show, because that's what's his name behind it?
That was Vegas.
Wait, don't say, Terry. We're going to make that a trivia question.
We're going to make that trivia question who that was. This one was from Kanab.
Yep.
There's Terry in the middle.
Yeah.
You sure that's not the right end, is it?
Oh, you went there.
Oh, wait, because Don's not here. I had to chime it in.
I love it. See?
Standing in for the part of Don Collier is Ginger Cook.
All right. You want to see the picture that really kind of started it all? This is when I became, come on, go big. Why aren't you going big? There we go. This is the picture.
All right.
When he just dragged me along, we were doing a show. We talked to each other, but he was still, and he said, come on, let's take this. Once we took this picture, we became fast friends. That one right there.
Oh my God, look at that. God, the Gizzard of Oz. Good Lord.
I love it. And the Tin Man too. That's such a great shot. He looks so good in pigtails there, Dan. All right. Anyway, we're having too much fun, guys.
Oh my goodness, you guys are crazy. Let's see. Well, Ed Thompson says, anybody have any funny bar stories about Dan? But I'm pretty sure that ship has sailed. There's been several of those already.
I think I remember being in a bar or two with him.
Do you really remember? You remember going into the bar? That's about it, right, Darby?
There was a tradition before we got on a plane to fly to these various events and stuff. We did have to meet for a Bloody Mary and wake that bar up. Usually in the morning, because it used to be the first flight out, everything. So everybody be, and the bartender be just opening up stuff. And we'd go in there and have to wake that bar up to where we had people dancing on the tables by the time the airplane was called.
And when he went on airplanes, he was the same way, just like Darby was saying, that he would get in the front, he'd work us into first class, and then in about 20 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes, he'd have all the stewardesses, all of the attendants would out there, they would bring all of their food. We'd have drinks for everybody. Everybody'd be laughing. He was holding court in first class every time almost.
And when we were on the smaller ones that maybe didn't have the first class, we would be sitting there, and when the stewards would go by, all of a sudden these little bottles would just fall into our laps as they walked by. But yeah, he never could sit quiet. You knew he was around.
Always.
And the gun show in Tulsa was great. He invited me back there, and I went back, and Darb was there. And Darby and I sold a ton of pictures because Dan was the main attraction. We'd get to slop over. Dan was selling, a ton of pictures, and we'd get with it.
You said I was taking his sloppy seconds there, sir. Is that what you're implying? Sure, yes. You can say anything. You're just a name on a screen here.
Yeah, well, I was taking thirds in that show, but it was great. And then when you and I went back there without Dan, we didn't do so good. he was the honey that attracted the bees.
Yeah.
Well, you knew Dan was in the room just by the laughter. As soon as you walked anywhere close, you couldn't get past that laugh.
Like that great picture you have behind you. You could hear that a mile away. It was great.
Exactly. That's my favorite picture, because that's what we were always doing. It didn't matter where we were. The only time I've ever seen him solemn was when I finally got him to come hear me preach. And he got in church. He couldn't believe he was there. But when I got him in there, and it's after I was done, we had him up on stage, and he was crying. I said, "Wow, we need that laughter." He was so touched. And he says he was so touched by what was going on. He could feel the spirit in the church, and he was so sincere. It was one of the few times that he didn't use the laughter. It was all about his sincerity, and you saw that big heart of his come out in such a different way. It was so special to me.
Now,
And
I don't know I think we just started talking right in the beginning. I don't know, for the darlings and dudes out there that don't know, Terry is not only his manager, his great friend, but he's also his pastor. So that was the other fun thing when they traveled together. It was the pirate and the pastor. But Terry's written 2 books about him, right?
Hold on, I got a picture of the books. You can talk about this, Terry.
Now, see, she'll be able to bring that up like that. Me, I'm like over here fumbling. There you go.
So you've written 2 books, right?
Yeah, the first book, the orange book there, that one is how we really met, how we became friends. And then the next book was Dan Haggerty, The Man I Knew. When he passed away, it was so traumatic for me. I wanted to write a book and it became cathartic. And it's just, it's an amazing time. A lot of people got upset a little bit because they thought I was going to talk about his beginnings and how the show got started and all that. I was really talking about the last 25 years where I knew him and how we became friends, and then how the different things that we did, like we're talking about now with Darby and Don, because it was such a great experience. Even the last, when Dan was really sick, I'll never forget it. It's probably the most touching and bittersweet memory that I have, is that I was in the hospital with him, and I spent the night. Darby took me over there, dropped me off. I spent about 10 days, the last 10 days with him in the hospital, and he wanted some peach cobbler. And he said, "You got to get some peach cobbler."
Oh, please don't.
And I said, "I don't know where to get peach cobbler." He said, "You can find me peach cobbler." And I went downstairs. I walked in 3 blocks in every direction, east, west, north, south, in 3 blocks in every direction. Couldn't find a pie place. He wanted the full pie. He didn't want something from the hospital. He wanted a full pie, a peach cobbler. I came back to the room and I said, "Dan, I had walked my legs off. It had taken me 2.5 hours." And he said, "Well, where's the peach cobbler?" I said, "I can't find peach cobbler." And so we laughed about that. But before it was over,
he wasn't laughing. Come on.
Huh?
I said he wasn't laughing.
No. Well, yeah, he didn't laugh at first. He was like, he didn't take
he
no
wanted the peach cobbler.
Yeah, I want my peach cobbler. So I said, "Will you settle for pizza?" And finally he settled for pizza. We ordered 3 pizzas, and me and him sat there and ate pizza all night long. And that was the last night that I remember spending with him. And we talked about old times and ate that pizza together over a hospital bed. Yeah. But that's Dan Haggerty.
Oh, he sent me on one of the dessert runs from the hospital, and I couldn't find, and I came back with a Napoleon. I came back with about 5 or 6 things, you know, and no, that Darby, come on. And that was the only time, unfortunately, it was one of the first times I think we were in the hospital. It was the time that he was really serious, and I was really trying to make light of it. And it was being in an LA hospital where there's people out in the hallway and they're screaming and they're yelling, and I'm trying to keep his spirits up and everything. And it was the only time he looked at me, "Darby, not everything in life is funny."
Well, that hospital we were at that I was just that you took me to, he had the cancer in his lower spine. And so it would make his hips hurt really bad. And he said, "Terry," he said, I am hurting so bad." And I said, "I can't believe what I think you're about to ask." He said, "Can you rub my back just a little bit on my back?" And I rubbed his back, and I'm trying to get it to feel better. And then he said, no, a little bit lower. And I said, "Man, I don't want to go down in history as rubbing Grizzly Adams' butt, but we laughed until we cried because.
And this is the pastor speaking here. Let's not forget.
It was so funny. I laughed. I will never forget that. I said, I'm going to go down in history as the only guy that rubbed Grizzly Adams' butt. But he was so funny. Even in the most pain that he was having, he still was able to be nice. Most 99% of the time, 98% of the time.
I did his last appearance with the Malabar Farms, and that's when it really started to hurt him.
Yeah,
and he was in a lot of pain, and he was trying, and the people that put it together were very nice, and they were accommodating us very well. But Dan was saying, I'm in a lot of pain, and I need painkillers, and I need something to stop this. And I think they were kind of put in a hard place where, all right, is this a Hollywood actor coming in asking for drugs? And that's all. Because if a fan came around or somebody, he popped out of it. He gave him a smile. He gave him a laugh. So they didn't know if he was really in that much pain, but he was. And I think we could let him get. Yeah.
I hate to sit here like a bump on a log, but you guys knew him much better than I did, and I'm enjoying the hell of just listening to you guys talk. So, if you don't mind, I would just listen some more.
Well, you got a few stories yourself, Don. We're going to pick on you next.
No, you ain't. You devil, you.
Well, I tell you what, I love this friendship that we have, the three of us, and it used to be the four of us. I'm sitting there looking at Darby. I said, Darby, Dan talked me into, he wanted to become a minister like me, and he wanted to marry somebody. And
really?
And I told him, I said, well, you're not going to get licensed like I've got them, but I heard you could get them over the internet. And he went and got him over the internet and was marrying people. And then he says, and so when he would go and somebody asked him, are you really an ordained minister? He said, yes, I'm an ordained minister. He said, where'd you get him? He'd point at me and say, he got him. He said, he got him for me. I got ordained under him. I said, you didn't get ordained under me. You got ordained under the internet. But then now I got Darby, who's ordained the same way. And Darby ended up marrying me to me, my wife and I, when we were on the Eiffel Tower. Darby,
on top of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and I got to perform the ceremony for them and hook these two wonderful people up. It was great.
On the internet. It was
Is
amazing.
that legitimate?
Yeah.
What
And
says
you're
you?
really
Says
married?
you guys? I was going to say says you guys. I don't know, Terry. I might go check that just to be sure it got filed.
It's got to be good. She's still with him, I mean, there's got to be a reason there.
He's still around.
No, he's still with her.
Yeah, Don thinks we got her drugged or something.
Don, is there really no way we can get your video back? Or you just like being in the shadows?
Well, she's trying to get it back, but it ain't coming back.
I can try to reboot it, but it'll take us a minute.
Well, when we go to the next segment,
let's
you
do
can
the
try that
next
if you
segment
want.
then. There we
You
go.
want to do that, and then we'll come back.
What?
Okay, get up. They're gonna do the next segment.
So the next segment's about 15 minutes long. So when we're at that, you guys can just reboot it and pop back in. It should be fine.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll see everybody in about 15 minutes with part 2 of Adam's Cub.
Being frightened, I'm not gonna hurt you. What are you doing out here all by yourself? You're lost, aren't you? We'll do something about that. Look at you. You're all hurt and scratched. You're a mess. What's your name?
Eliza Bowker.
Well, Eliza Bacher, don't you worry about a thing. Come on with me. There. Look a lot nicer with that dirt off your face. Looks like you got in an argument with the bramble bush and lost. Let me take a look at that arm. Well, that doesn't look too good. Yeah. These are leaves from mayapple. My blood brother Nicoma taught me how to do this. Reckon you aren't too interested in recipes, though, are you? Except in be the eating kind? Are you hungry? Well, it just so happens I can take care of that, too. Want to follow me to my cabin? It's just over the hill. Made plenty of stew. Can't guarantee it'd be as good as what your ma'd make, but it's plenty filling. Here, let me help you up. Looks like it's nice and hot. Want me to feed you?
I can feed myself.
Well, go ahead and eat as much as you want. Eat it right out of the bowl. Take it kind of slow, though. It's hot. Tastes good? Talkative little lady, ain't you? Well, I can understand that. Probably never seen the likes of me before. Rather be with your ma and pa anyways. Well, as soon as you finish up there, we'll get back on the trail and start looking for them, all right? Ben, stop your begging. We got company. And say hi to the lady.
You're the man with the bear. The one they said.
Have you heard of me?
My pa says there's a reward out on you.
Well, there is. But it's a mistake. I didn't do what they said I did. I wouldn't hurt anybody. I wouldn't hurt you or anything, or anybody else. You gotta believe me, Eliza.
I guess Ben wouldn't like you if you were bad, would he?
Well, not if I'm the kind of man they said I was.
Then I don't believe them.
Ben, you get a little reward for that. Got to do something about that hair. Got a lot of tangles in it. I got a real nice brush. My blood brother made it out of a porcupine tail. What do you think about that?
I don't know.
Well, I'll fix you all up real pretty for your ma and pa. I got a comb, too. Made it myself. Made it out of hardwood. It's in the cabin. I'll get it.
You know something, Ben? He's just like you.
Of course, Adams didn't let on to her that the chances of finding her folks was as good as finding a flea on a catfish. But he set off to look for them anyways, more to make her feel good than anything else. And it didn't help much, her not remembering the way she'd come.
How about a drink of water, Eliza?
All right.
Look at those little coons, Eliza. They sure like this water.
What are they doing?
They're washing their food. Most animals are very clean. A lot like humans. Come on, let's go.
So Adams headed for where he'd seen the wagon train, not knowing her folks had taken another way.
You remember any of this?
No.
We'll backtrack a ways and maybe you'll recognize something. Most of the wagon trains I see pass through here head up to the canyon up yonder. Tired? How about a ride?
Okay.
Hop on. Want to wear my hat?
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on to it because it's windy. Come on, Ben.
What's that?
That's a red-tailed hawk. That's his hunting cry.
You like living out here, don't you?
I sure do.
I wouldn't. I got scared most all the time in the wagon.
Scared of what?
Nights, wolves, howls, and you could see their eyes shining in the dark. I just got sick with the cholera. And my dog died.
Oh. Well, there's bound to be sickness wherever there's people. But if you live with nature, not against her, she'll be real good to you.
You mean like you and Ben?
Yeah. What? Come here, little fella. Come on.
Are all the animals your friends?
No, but most of them know I mean them no harm. And that means a lot to an animal. And to folks, too.
Is he one of your friends, too?
That's a badger, honey. Well, ain't nobody he's friends with, or afraid of neither. Even old Ben wouldn't tangle with him. Remember, there's good and bad in all kinds. Whenever you meet a new animal, you be careful. They always aren't as friendly as old Ben. Do you remember any of this?
No.
Well, let's try something else. Come on.
By then, Adams reckoned he might be hunting in the wrong hen house. But he couldn't let on to that neither.
Well, since we ain't had no luck finding your ma and pa, I thought we'd make it easier for them to find you.
So Adams done a foolish thing. He'd been hiding out ever since that wanted poster went up, and now he was marking the way straight to his cabin, not knowing who it might bring.
Well, that's it. Time we'd be heading home.
How do you know we'll see that sign?
Well, if they don't, somebody else will. Maybe we'll run into them. We'll let them know. Be surprised how fast the word travels out here.
You think it will be very long?
Well, and that's hard telling. But we'll do some scouting around our own selves.
Do you live here by yourself? All the time?
Well, I've got some friends of mine that stop by and visit. My blood brother, Nakoma, he's the one that taught me how to live out here in the wilds. And when he left off, my friend Jack took over. I'm still learning, though. Think you could stay and live with me a spell?
I think so.
Well, Miss Docker, welcome to your new home. After you, Ben. Well, I reckon I'd ask you to sit down and make yourself at home. Ain't too used to female company. Have to forgive my manners.
It's all right.
Well, is there something you'd like to do?
I don't think so.
Well, here. Sit down anyways.
I don't mind standing.
This is kind of different than what you're used to, ain't it?
A little. I guess you haven't had a chance to clean up today.
Clean up?
Don't give me a broom, I'll be glad to sweep.
You got a broom.
You don't?
Never had a need for one. Reckon I need one?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll just make one. What else do we need?
Where will I sleep tonight?
You sleep right there in my bunk. I'll sleep outside. It ain't been the first time.
I don't have a nightie.
Sleep in my clothes myself. Makes it easier to get dressed in the morning.
But you air your bedding then.
Hear it?
Ma always gives the blankets a good shaking every day. And sets the mattresses out in the sun and fluffs them. It makes them smell good.
Well, I reckon your ma and I just do things a little bit different. My blankets have been in the mud and on horses. And Ben's even slept with them. So I don't know what my blankets are going to smell like.
I think you better air them out.
I got the hint. Ben, stop it.
Your sisters, I could trim your beard for you.
I use my knife when it needs trimming.
You'd look better without a beard.
No, the beard stays.
My pa shaved every day. How many days has it been?
I've lost track.
Think they've given up looking for me?
I'd never give up looking for you if you were mine. Oh, now don't cry. I just meant that they wouldn't quit looking for you either.
Are you even miss my house?
What kind of a house did you have? Where'd you live?
Boston. It was a white house, and I had my own room in the attic. And Pa used the front room for his cobbler shop. And Ma was in the kitchen most of the time baking for the neighbors. And it always smelled so good. Leather, bread, cookies, and everything.
Well, I'd miss a house like that, too. Why'd you leave?
There was a fire, and it got all burned up. And some of Pa's friends were after him to go west with them anyways. So he did. Pa thought he might try farming. I think it's my bedtime. Will you tuck me in?
If you'd like me to.
Is your back turned?
Okay, it's turned.
Ready?
I'm ready. You have to show me how.
You tuck the blanket under the mattress here, and then down there, and then there.
Okay. How's that?
Fine.
You snug? Those clothes are starting to get pretty warm.
Good night, Uncle Grizzly.
Good night, Eliza. Sweet dreams.
In the meantime, in the Q&A, did anybody answer who that is?
Let me find the Q&A. We did get a couple questions, so let's see. They're getting there. Let's see. Darby, was it at Malabar Farms when you and Dan sang God Bless America? I was so mad I wasn't able to go there that weekend. That was from Pamela Riley Katkovich.
Don,
Don, hooray! Don't touch anything. Just sit there.
All right, there we are.
They were telling me I shouldn't have called you.
I'm glad you did, pal.
No, I meant during the show. Like you were doing just fine sitting there when we got your camera back. And then all of a sudden the phone rings and it's Darby.
Well, I thought anyway. No, where we? Oh, you know what? I should have run that one. I'll have to put that one up on my website. Singing "God Bless America." My sister took that. We were in the back of the room at what event? It was at the Sportsman's Lodge, which has already been mentioned before. The Sportsman's Lodge, which they tore down most of it, for a friggin' little mini mall. Oh, there's such history in that place.
Oh boy.
What was the event? It was one of the first places I met Don Wells, I remember. I think we were getting a can't remember, Lifetime Achievement Awards. I'll have
Darby,
to look that. Yeah.
You know, the first time I saw the Sportsman's Lodge, we're fishing for trout. It was just a trout pond.
Yes. My mom used to take me there as a kid because they had a big lake or pond, not lake.
Right.
They had a pond that they would stock, and you could fish in it, and then they charged you how much the fish weighed if you caught something.
They charged what, 15, 25 cents a fish, something like that.
I don't remember how much.
I had my kids there one time at one of the places, and they were catching fish so fast I was just going nuts trying to stop them because it would cost me a fortune.
Yeah, probably a couple of bucks, right?
Yeah.
But hey, Darby, did they tear down the park that we used for Dan's memorial?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's all gone. The pond's all gone. All of it. They've left the hotel. They'll probably, modernize it or something. Places like that, like the Bel Air Hotel. One of my favorite places in the world. It was so glamorous. It was tucked back in the hills of Bel Air, little cottage, everything. I had my first wedding there. I had my second wedding there.
Is it gone?
And no, well, they bought it and they totally modernized it and did the mirrors and the chrome and instead of, we're like Humphrey Bogart and where all these wonderful people used to go as a little getaway. It's a shame. It's a shame.
But that was where I met Doug McClure. That's where I met Dan. There's so many people we met there. That's a sad note for me, boy. Wow.
Well, and the Sportsman's Lodge, there were so many rock stars and rock groups that would come through there because it had a huge parking lot where they could park all their, big trucks and their motorhomes and everything else when they were on road tour. So if those walls could talk, or, it's around the pool and stuff. And like you said, we had Dan's memorial there.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
we had 2 or 3 High Chaparral reunions there, as a matter of fact, through the years.
There you go.
Yeah, and the Golden Boot or the Spur or something awards.
Silver Spur and the Golden Boot.
So anyway, during the break, I was looking through my little thing there, and I found this. Remember in the beginning, I said that this bottle of moonshine hadn't been opened since Dan was over and we were drinking it. I found the picture of the bottle and Dan drinking it. Isn't that?
What the hell was he dressed up for?
Huh?
What are you guys dressed up for there?
We were watching a football game, having fun. But I thought that was so cool. I went, wait a minute, I think I remember seeing a picture, and there's only a little bit left, and that's all Dan left. Like I said, it hasn't been open since he walked out of here.
Wow.
All right, Terry, there's a question for you. Robin Gronimus says for Terry, I saw an antiques show about a year before Dan died in which he was selling a big painting that he said was his favorite. I always wondered why he did that. Do you remember that? What was the painting?
Well, that painting was in his house, and the American Pickers came by and wanted to have a pick at his place. And they came in and they ended up buying a big giant wooden door, and they bought that picture of him riding a motorcycle. But I think he ended up bargaining with them to give them what's called a gilet, which is the copy instead of the original. I think they worked that out.
Now,
but then there was a table there that was.
That's what I was going to say. Wasn't it your table?
That was my table, because I was just out there a few months before that. And Dan asked me, Dan said, we always sat at that table and at night and talked about different business stuff or whatever. And I said, I like this table. He said, I'm going to give it to you. So he gave me the table. And so I'm sitting there in Palm Beach and watching Pickers on TV, and I see them buy that table. And so I called him on the phone. I said, "Hey, Dan." And he said, "Yeah, how you doing, bud?" And I said, "Well, I was just checking to see how everything's going." And he said, "It's going great." I said, "How about my table? Is that, you still got that? I'm going to be out there in a couple of weeks. I just thought I'd pick it up." He said, "Yeah, man, I got it waiting for you. No problem. We're ready to go." I said, "That's funny, because I'm looking at it go out your door, and American Pickers just bought it." He said, "Hey, man, I ended up getting $5,000 for that whole lot." He said, "I'd have sold you for $5,000. He said, "Get over it."
Oh,
Sounds like you called him.
Yeah.
That was Dan Haggerty.
that was Dan Haggerty. That's for sure.
But he did sell that picture, but he did sell him a copy.
What was the picture of?
It was Dan riding
on
a
his motorcycle. You said that.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a good thing he didn't do that with the motorcycle from Easy Rider.
Oh, please.
Let's not go there.
Started on
What did he do with that bike? What happened to that bike?
Well, which one?
The real one. The real one that Dan had.
The Dan, yeah. Well, Dan made the bike for that film.
He did?
He built the bike for the Easy Rider. Yeah. And he was in it.
It was in the movie. You know, sorry, I have to adjust my dog here. I was very tempted, instead of doing this pilot episode, as Ginger can tell you, I was going to do the Gidget one where he comes out as the muscle man. The only time you see him without a beard or anything. Like, But this is much better. I don't know if you could get away with this today. This big guy saying, "Yeah, come here, little girl. Come on into my cabin here. Settle down." I mean, the network wouldn't let him. Bozo the bear was a girl. It's a girl bear. It's a female bear. But the network said, "Oh, no, we can't have a guy living up in the woods with a female bear. We got to say it's Ben, a boy." So that's why they called it Ben, and always said it was like a boy. But yet they're calling a little girl into his cabin. Yeah, come on in. I don't know. That's
true. Yeah, I don't think you could get rid of half of his show. But I saw the girl walk into the cabin and him close the door. I said, "You couldn't print that today for anyone."
Isn't that sad? We've gone from Lucy and Desi sleeping in two separate beds to now we probably have to go back. Anyway, let's not go there.
All right, we have a comment from Tammy. This brings back.
Is it nice? It better be a nice comment.
It is nice. It's a nice comment for Dawn. This brings back such great memories. Hearing you guys laugh it up makes it all the sweeter. And Dawn, you're still the hot cowboy I loved in High Chaparral. That's from Tammy.
Well, there's a girl. That's my own heart right there. Shut up, Gary, and let her talk.
Tammy, I think you get 4 gold stars for that comment.
I think so.
Maybe she'll come to Tucson in March.
There you go, Tammy. You got a personal invitation to come to Tucson in March for the High Chaparral reunion. Is that going to be at Old Tucson Studios? Is that where they host it?
No, we're going to stay at the Lodge in the Desert, but we're going out to Old Tucson if they'll let us.
Didn't I hear they sold it?
Oh, did they?
The county took it back.
Oh, okay.
The county now has it, and I got a call from some people. They're trying to buy it, and if they do, they hope to start working it. I don't know. It just sounds like a bunch of baloney to me, but it all depends on this. What's this disease called?
COVID.
COVID. What happens to COVID? That's running our whole lives right now.
Is there a disease going around? I hadn't heard about it. What's it called? What? Is that something they have on the East Coast? I haven't heard about that out here.
No, it doesn't have us back here in Kentucky. We're disease free.
Oh, listen to you. You were driving from Arizona to Kentucky and back, and I went out and visited you, and we're going in the gas station. I'm like, here, you got to have some of this lotioned stuff. And you're like, oh, come on, Darby. I'm 93. A cold could kill me. What do I care? He's coughing. Look out. He's coughing.
Oh, just
Hey,
clear my throat.
I just want Tammy to get her glasses renewed. If she thinks Don was the hot cowboy, you need to get those glasses looked at.
She doesn't wear glasses.
Oh, okay.
You creep.
That's awesome.
Look at that face. What, 60 years old, huh?
You look 40.
Really?
There you go.
Yeah, times 3. But that's good.
I thought you'd come up with that.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Well, on that note, maybe we should finish with the last 18-minute segment.
There we go.
And that'll give us about 10 minutes left to
And let's
sing
just
happy
hope the little girl
birthday
comes out. The little girl comes out of this unscathed, because you know I'm on the board for a lot of child actors, and I just hope there was a therapist on the set that could explain to her, you know, the meaning of being pulled into a cabin with a big grizzly bear of a guy that sleeps in his clothes and hasn't changed anything for however long he's been up there. Oh my God.
Well, that's what Don does.
Who's the little girl? Is she still around? Do we know? Oh, Ginger.
Who is that girl?
Ginger always does.
I never do that kind of research, so somebody's going to have to look it up for us. Oh, Tammy gave you a response, Don. My eyesight is perfect. Arizona, here I come. Ha ha. So, ha ha, Terry.
Now, so.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it, you
Yeah.
wise guy.
You pastor from Florida.
Yeah.
All
Go back
right.
to Florida. Go back to your hurricanes.
That's
Hey,
right.
we're on the tail end of them. What, round 3 of the hurricanes? They're finally gone, I think, aren't they? All right. Well, let's go ahead and do the last round. And so, Don, if you do leave your camera on, we're not going to tell you to turn it off. So, Darby, don't
I
call
won't
him.
call anybody during it. I promise.
And don't worry, I'll fix it in post. We'll be all set. Nobody will ever know. Nobody will be the wiser. So here we go.
Bet
With
she doesn't.
18-minute segment. We'll see you guys at the end.
Well, I'd say we did a right fine job, young lady. Of course, I got to admit your stitches are my fancier than mine. How's it fit?
All right, I guess. It feels kind of funny.
Well, it's just because you never wore a man's shirt before. But they're real comfortable once you get them broke in.
I wish you had a mirror.
The stream outside will work just fine.
Can't you keep up here with me, you three-bitten nag?
Who's that?
That's just Jack and number 7. I knew they'd be along soon. Come on.
Come along. Last time I take you anywhere. I've never seen such contrariness in anything. Hello, the cabin.
Now, don't judge too much by appearances. Jack's a mighty fine fellow. All right?
All right.
Howdy, Jack.
Adam?
What took you so long this time? Blame it on old flab ears here. Him and me are about to come to a parting of the ways.
Seems like I hear the same thing every time you come.
Oh, this time I mean it. I'm going to start looking for a number 8. I got you some flour, salt, and powder and lead. And them carvings you give me the trade for you, they fetched a good price.
Well, who's this little critter? Don't remember her before.
Jack, I'd like you to meet Miss Eliza Bowker.
Howdy. Go away a couple of months and no telling what.
What hit this place? Enough to give a fellow the cold miseries. She do this to you?
Or you got to admit it could have stood a good cleaning.
You've changed. What? You took to bathing?
Right regular.
Get out of here.
Hello, Donkey.
Don't take kindly to strangers. And he's apt to start kicking and,
Well, I never saw him do that before. Jack, I got something I want to ask you.
I got something I want to tell you. You must be plumb loco. You're so clean, it's disgusting. You was looking in the wrong place for them. They took the South Fork. And word is, they're still out there trying to find her.
Think you can find them?
I can find anything that moves or leaves sign, and you know that. But are you sure you want me to? There's no doubt that they've seen that poster.
Eliza told me they've seen it.
I've seen those sodbusters down at the fort looking at that wanted poster. And you can almost sense the hunger in them. They're all dirt poor. Are you sure you want me to fetch them up here?
Yeah.
That figures. It's the foolish thing to do. But that ain't the only foolish thing you're doing. Why, old number 7 there's got more sense in his left hind foot than you got in your whole head. Blazing a trail right up here to your cabin so the whole world knows where you are.
Look, nobody's been looking.
Well, that ain't saying there ain't gonna be somebody looking.
Will you get him?
What is it, Uncle Grizzly?
Well, it ain't the best likeness I've ever seen, but it's supposed to be Ben. It's for you.
Look, Ben. It's you.
What do you think about that, Ben? That was the best I could do.
I don't know why I gotta bear the burden of 2 critters as dumb as you and him. He don't know what's good for him, but I do. He ought to have himself a family to take care of. He ain't no mountain man like you and me, number 7. What we ought to do is just go back to the cabin. There ain't no reason for us to find her folks. Adams can take care of her just fine. Besides, they're good for each other. Well, even if I did find her parents and brought them up there, I'd lay you 10 to 1. They'd say, "Thank you, sir." And they'd take their daughter and head straight for the fort and that reward. Well, do I have to light a fire under you? Come on. You're so slow, I could bury you and you wouldn't know the difference. Now, come on.
How'd you do, Jack?
Easy there, number 7. Have you good as new as no time?
You didn't find him, did you?
He picked up a stone on the trail. That thing must have hurt like a hot poker. Never a whimper out of him. Now, just hold still. I got it right here. There you go. Now, put yourself down on it easy. Easy.
Sure didn't take you very long.
Just put your foot down easy. Sure, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, I didn't see him.
But I did see this family that was on their way east from Oregon. They had passed the Bowkers on the trail. It seems that, well, they gave up looking for her. They found this piece of her dress. It was all torn, and they figured a cougar got her, maybe, or wolves.
Well, how far back did that family pass him?
They didn't say.
What do you mean they didn't say? 1 day, 2 days, a week, an hour?
I can't tell you what I don't know.
Where were they headed for? Oregon?
I suppose.
Well, we still got a chance to catch him. Eliza, we're going to give it a try.
Why'd they stop looking for me?
Well, like Jack said, honey, they found a piece of your torn dress.
But I didn't tear my dress. I'll show you.
Well, all I said is what they told me.
You lied to me, Jack. You didn't see nobody.
Well,
Here it is. Nothing's missing.
I did it for you, Adams. I just saw how the two of you got along and the way you could raise her and teach her things. Well, think about it.
Thinking plenty. Get my hat and get my coat. We'll find them ourselves.
I was just trying to keep your head out of the noose. You'd be a fool to take her down there by yourself. All right. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take her down there and I'll deliver her to her folks.
I'll do it on my own.
But you don't know where they are.
I know where you said they were, down at the South Fork. And if I got to go the length of it, then I'm going to do it. Come on, Eliza.
You'll just be sticking your head in the noose. You ought to just raise her up like she was your own. You two are good for each other. Can't you see that? Oh, the mule-headed, stubborn... I'm sorry, number 7. But we got to stop him from putting his head in the noose. Now, we're going to take a shortcut, and it's going to be tough. And I don't want to hear one complaint out of you. You understand? Now, come on. Now, don't be nervous, ma'am, but are you the folks looking for a little girl about this high answer named Eliza?
Have you seen her?
Where is she? She's on her way here with a friend of mine.
Is she all right?
Oh, just fine, ma'am. What happened to her? Nothing's happened to her if you'll just let me get it out.
Where's she been all this time?
She's been with this friend of mine. I'm trying to tell you, and he's taken care of her. He's looked out for her. He's fed her.
Are you sure she's all right?
Did you see her yourself? Less than a half hour ago. Now, if you'll both just slow down a little and let me get it out.
You tell us that. Yes, she's all right. She's all right.
Of course she is, ma'am. Now, there's one thing you ought to know.
What?
Well, about this fella that's been looking after her. The kind of man he is. Now, just be quiet and let me get at it. Now, you ready to listen? All right.
This looks familiar.
Well, been a mess of wagons have passed, that's for sure. You wouldn't remember what tracks yours left, though, would you?
Eliza!
That's my pa!
And now, don't go breaking your neck.
Eliza!
Stay here, Ben. Don't want to scare folks now, do you?
This is the man I was telling you about.
Can't thank you enough.
much for goodbyes.
It's all right, Ma. That's Ben. He's our friend. We're friends with all the animals here, practically. Especially Uncle Grizzly. That's why they call him Grizzly Adams.
I don't see any Grizzly. Or anyone named Grizzly Adams.
Yeah, got it.
I swear, I just can't understand some folks. What's so wrong about just telling one little lie? I told the truth right afterwards, didn't I? And everything come out all right, didn't it? All right, maybe I shouldn't have lied. But I lied for you. Well, ain't you got nothing to say? Well, all right. I'm sorry I lied. I'm sorry about the whole darn thing. Now, is that what you're waiting for me to say?
No, I wasn't waiting for you to say it.
Well, what were you waiting for?
For you to understand it.
Understand.
Jack? We got flapjacks for supper.
Flapjacks?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Adams. I'll go up and I'll set us two places and I'll be waiting for you.
No, you won't. Come down here to the water and wash.
Wash? In water?
Yeah, in the water.
Well, what for are we doing that? That's
the proper thing to do.
Eliza. Great balls of fire. She's miles from here, and you're still taking orders from her.
No, I ain't. It's just the proper thing to do. You just wash before you eat.
You mean, if I don't wash, I don't eat. That's it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, all right. But if word ever gets out at Rendezvous that I washed, Mad Jack washed in water, they won't let me in none of their lodges.
If you wash up real good, I got extra syrup. It's a little bit better than that.
Deep inside the forest is a door into another land. Here is our life and home. We are staying.
So just wash them.
Here forever in the beauty of this place all alone. We keep on hoping. Maybe there's a world where we don't have to run, and maybe there's a time we'll call our own, living free in harmony and majesty. Take me home, take me home.
but I wanted you to understand it. I thought that was very sweet.
Hey, you know what's
Yeah.
ironic is I forgot that Bob Summers did the music for that show. He did the music. He did the music for my Bob's first movie, Rockabye Baby, back in the 80s. I thought that was well. And he kept telling me Bob Summers on it. I didn't know the name. And then I just saw it in the credits. I'm like, oh, that Bob Summers. So I thought that's kind of cool.
Back
Don,
in the 80s.
Don, did you ever work with Denver Pyle on anything?
Yes, I did several times. He was a good guy with Denver. He was with us on a picture called 5-Card Stud. And Henry Hathaway got mad at him and almost broke old Denver's heart. He was sick in bed all weekend. So we went over and comforted old Denver, took him a pie and some booze. And we did him bad. We brought him back to life. He was really sick. But he was a good guy, good actor.
That's why my generation knows him as Uncle Jesse. So it's nice to see him in that role too. That was a good role for him in Grizzly Adams.
You bet.
Who's that good-looking guy over your shoulder?
Where?
Behind you.
Oh, Sue put that up there. She said that'll look good for a background.
Look at
that. One picture is 60 years old.
Especially the one with the gum hiding your face. That's a good one.
That was my best job.
Hubba bubba, baby.
You bet. Big bubbles, no troubles.
I think I still have a Hubba Bubba from when I first met you. You gave me a Hubba Bubba. I think it's here in my collection somewhere.
Wait a minute. I never gave anything away. You probably still owe me for that.
I have so much you have no idea.
Stuck to the underside of the table.
What do you say?
I got stuck to your Hubba Bubba. Got stuck to the underside of the table.
I like him.
I'll get you yet.
You know, I gotta say, one of the best commercials, though, I don't have it pulled up, but was the one Dan did for Dan Haggerty pot. What was that one, Terry?
Oh,
with the
that was
bear and everything.
Yeah.
What was it?
That was a movie. Oh, I can't think of the name of the movie, but they did it on the credits. They ran that spot on the credits, and him with the bear smoking dope or some special cigarettes.
Yeah, Dan Haggerty cigarettes there, special. What a guy! What a character! And I gotta say, that was very touching. You know, the show. I mean, it was great family entertainment. I think that was a good little message at the end there. I want you to understand it. You know, I mean.
Well, did you catch what he said at the last? It really touched my heart when he gave the girl to the parents and he was looking at her and he said, "I'm not much for goodbyes." And it hit me. I said, because that's the first thing I caught when I became his friend and we started working together. He said, "I don't say goodbye." He said, "I only say hello."
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Every time he hung up the phone, he said, "Hello." And that's how he hung up. Because he didn't believe in goodbyes.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
All right. So Tammy did the research for us and said the little girl was Kristen Curry. And then Robin Gronimus said she had 6 credits, the last one in 1994, no personal information. So she was obviously one of those child actresses that's all she did.
Guys, I sure miss hanging with you. And I wore my, my Kanab Western Legends Roundup shirt because we've had so much fun there over the years. And
oh man,
like I said, I hope all this stuff
going this year. Did she say?
You know, I hope all this stuff goes away and we can do it all again. If it's on in August next year, I think we'll all meet up there and have a good time.
Gosh,
that
was, I hope so.
Yeah, that was all.
See you in Tucson, Darb.
See you in Tucson. Fuller, I'm going to see you in Memphis. And Ginger, I'm going to see you in 2 Thursdays, right?
Yeah, when you tell me what you want to do. Don, we'll figure out a high chaparral to do with you. Darby told me about yours, but I'll get a better quality of the high chaparral episode we can do with you.
Good, that'd be great.
You're still interested.
And I'll get better internet.
There you go. Don't forget. So we're all saying happy birthday, Dan. We got to do our final
that's what we're
toast
doing.
and happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Terry, if they want those books, where's a good place for them to go to get the books on Dan?
They can get them on Amazon, or they can they can catch me on Facebook or message me, or they can get them on Amazon themselves, or I'll send them to them myself.
And I have a couple of pages and some nice pictures of me and the big guy in my book if you wanted to. But you're absolutely right. We have to toast the I don't know what to say about him. He's beyond words. They really did break the mold when he came down.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So here's to you, Dan Haggerty, wherever you are, making them laugh up in heaven, as they say, right?
Happy birthday, my buddy.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, pal.
Happy birthday. Eat your cobbler. Eat your damn cobbler up in heaven.
Don, I love you. Be safe. I don't know where your next road trip is off to, but be safe. Wear a mask.
Thanks, Darby. I love you, pal.
I love you.
I love you, Don. I'll probably come up. I might drive up to Kentucky when I go to Tennessee in a few weeks. I might come.
Come on up here. Come on. They're dying to see you.
We got room.
And you owe me money.
I'll
Don't
send
forget
you
that.
guys in Tucson too.
And I still got to give that bride of yours a kiss, and it's tradition, a hug and a kiss. So we got to get together sometime too, Terry.
All right, buddy.
Thank you all. Thank all the darlings and dudes for watching.
Thank you to everybody that attended tonight. Thank you, Don. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Darby. And thank you, little dog. Everybody stay safe, be kind to each other, and we'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Good night, everybody.
My little Ewok.
Okay.